my question to you, do you prefer, what kind of school of thought do you sit in? Do you sit in, I want something that's really easy to use, or do I want something that's really full features? Because I think you have to pick a trade-off if you want to decide which e-ink tablet you're going to buy. I think you have to pick, do I want something that's really easy to use, in which case Remarkable, Scribe, any of these are going to be the choice for you, or do I want something with fully features? And then you're going to have to commit to a bit of a learning curve. It's a bit like asking somebody if they're Apple or Android, I think. If you're somebody who prizes, oh, it can do what it does, but it's going to be really easy. It's going to be, what's the word we always use? It's going to be intuitive. Are you intuitive, or are you actually someone who likes full features? So let me know. Just a simple, no sitting on the fence on this one. You're either easy to use or you're full of features. Okay, let me know. Okay, the last little section is talking about the latest updates between Remarkable and the Supernote. So here they both are. One thing I want to say, I want to talk about this side by side, because we're talking about the distraction-free kings here, really. The two that are really aiming for distraction-free note-taking, okay? And both of them have just brought major updates to the way that you can input type text. So the Supernote, for instance, has just brought in real-time text recognition. Now this one does work offline. I'm pretty sure I'm saying, I think we are online right now, but text recognition does work offline on the Supernote. So it is good. Here you are, when first using handwriting recognition. Well, it says when first using handwriting recognition, which is not all the time, right? Going to give it a moment. A great advert for Supernote. What is a great advert for Supernote is the pens, okay? And this is the latest Heart of Metal pen, which is an absolute fabulous. They always win out on the kind of accessories, because for professionals, the Heart of Metal pen is the type of quality of pen that you'll be used to using and carrying around. And there's just something about this quality. And here's where talking about this versus the Scribe pen, which is nowhere near my favorite of the pens in the world, which has got a quite plasticky feel. It does have the extra buttons, you know, there's no extra buttons on that, but the Supernote has some elegant solutions for things like gestures. If you're on the ease of use side of things, you are not, then the Supernote is not the best thing for you, because there are times when you just need to go up that steep learning curve. This is not a regular occurrence of it, incidentally. It just happens to have happened live because of the joys of live streams. There is some steep learning curve to go up with the Supernote, for sure. I was really hoping to showcase this amazing new text recognition from the distraction-free kings, and the real-time text recognition is good here on the Supernote, but I have no idea why it's decided to absolutely bug out right when I was testing, right when I'm live streaming. And this is possibly one of the nice things about the live streaming, is actually you do get to see unedited, unpolished. Not that I spend a lot of time polishing, I do try and show you the exact experience. Of course, on a normal YouTube video, I wouldn't have a couple of minutes of me just trying to reboot something that had crashed. I might say, you know, crashes a couple of times. It doesn't crash very regularly either, but I might say that it does that, but you wouldn't see that happening in front of you. Let's just test that, because I'm sure that I have used it already. Essentially, well, the way it works now, when you make a new note, you can choose whether to have a text recognition one or not, okay? It does seem that I need to be in the text recognition one. There, I have used this. Yeah, it just needs to go onto Wi-Fi this time for some reason. Wi-Fi, there we are, we're okay now. Okay, hopefully that's now connected. When I made a initial video about the Scribe launch, I asked this question. I said, do you think it's the end for Supernote and Remarkable? And well, now having lived with it and lived with the Scribe for a little while, I am certain it isn't the end. I'm sure it isn't the end for Supernote and Remarkable, because there are some really niche, you know, uses of these, and they are catering for a niche audience. And I don't think that it's the end for these devices, because people who love the distraction-free environment still absolutely love them, and they forgive them all these somewhat quirky bits. That is, I'm certain that is the right password. That's twice I've entered it now. Let's just go onto my hotspot instead then. There we go. Okay, so hopefully this will work this time. So real-time text recognition. Which is what I hope they will bring to the Remarkable 3 as well. And there we go. It's got it perfectly first time. So my experience of crashes, they only happen when you're live streaming. Now, the good thing about this being real time is that as it's doing that, it is, yeah, it's got that perfectly as well. It's got it the same lines. Absolutely. Now, the way this works is slightly different because the Remarkable, what it does is when it does its text recognition, it pops it on the next page. It pops it on a new page. And actually, if you ask it to reconvert the same page, it actually puts a whole new page in. So you see, I wrote some of it, and then I wrote a little bit more, and I asked it to convert, and it added a whole new set of lines. It added, sorry, a whole new page rather than went back and re-edited the previous one. So that's annoying because if you've made corrections to it and you ask it to convert the text again, well, you've lost those corrections because it has done the whole thing again, which I think is a little bit odd. I don't know why it would do that. And the suggestion would be, like the Supernote does, to actually have the text recognition just going on in the background. And I really like that it has it going on in the background because that adds to this sense of flow. I'm going to actually go back to these devices now they've got these awesome new updates, and I'm going to spend a bit of time with both of them, and I'm going to use them as my drivers again. I'm actually going to use the Supernote for work for a little while. I'm going to use the Remarkable to be my kind of notepad for my sort of home YouTube more creative tasks, because I think that's probably where they lend themselves. The Supernote is more lent towards a professional setting, and the Remarkable is more lent towards a personal setting. Not that they both can't do both of those things as well. I'm going to feed back on that. I'm probably going to make a full comparison video where you won't have to wait for me to log on to my Wi-Fi and things like that, which was a bit of a nuisance. And I will let you know what I think about these latest things in a longer form video. What I like about the Supernote is they do come up, and the Remarkable, to be fair, they do come up with real solutions. So the way the device works, they really think about the way that you want to use a device. So if I go to another note here, they really think about, well, look, rather than, add a way to turn on and off touch so you don't get any accidental presses, what they think about is, okay, let you just turn the page with 2-finger swipe. Brilliant. Rather than need to add a button on our pen, if we want a gesture to do delete, then we'll just have 2-finger touch, and there you go. You can delete anything by popping 2 fingers on, and there we go. And there's a whole bunch more of these gestures that you just have to learn to really get the most out of. So this is why I asked about that ease of use versus features. Now, I think the features of the Supernote are better, but I think that the ease of use of the Remarkable is easier. So I think that you do need to go for that as well. You do need to think that question to yourself. Are you ease of use? Go for Remarkable. Are you actually features? Then go Supernote, or go even higher, go for books. And there we go. There's the Books Nova was my recommendation for save yourself some money. That's the one that you should buy. I think that learning curve is what I'm trying to say for books and Supernote and some of the other devices, because they do have more features. The learning curve will be rewarded, which is something I think that most people want. They want a solution. They don't just want a device. They want a solution for their productivity, for use in work.